Welcome today to Sitting with Wisdom or Sitting with Wisdom. We have the lovely Miss Jhonie Donnell. She is the owner and operator of CrossFit Juice Bar. She is a wellness advocate and she is an all around beautiful spirit. So I'm excited to have her here.
Thank you so much. Great intro, by the way. You're amazing. You're so good with words. You're so good with words. I've had the honor of working with Miss Erica a couple of times, and she's good at what she does. The astrologer, the reading of the charts, like you're good and on point. So thank you for that amazing intro. And yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Welcome. So you brought in some of these dynamic juices and I'm so excited. And I hopefully you get to taste them. But before we get there, you recently came to Jacksonville like a year ago.
Yes.
And it's year and a half, and you are doing phenomenal in business. Thank you. And thank you. Yeah. Dynamically wise, like, wow. So just moving from California,
Yes.
from California to Jacksonville, what was one of the very first things you did here?
The first thing I did, honestly, when I got here was just start looking into events, start looking into spaces, that I could do what I do. So I've been and I do farmers markets, and I was doing that in California. So I came here with the same hustle and the same mentality. Prior to moving here, I had already scoped out RAM, which is the one of my biggest and greatest markets, and I'm very thankful to get in to RAM. I've been there for about a year. I think this year marks the year that I've been in there. And I scoped that market out before I got here. And I started to like plug and figure out how to get in. But that took a lot of steps before I got into rap. I had to really get my I's dotted and my T's crossed. So I just kind of came here with the art of hustle. And that's all, from the streets of California, San Diego. And we just knew the art of hustle. So I came here with that thought and mentality. So as soon as I got here, it was just all about tapping into markets. I was talking to people. And honestly, Jacksonville received me quite beautifully because I remember when I first got here, I spoke to a woman, and this is how you know that the cosmos are like in alignment and like all your desires and the things that you want to manifest, the desires of your heart, like literally kind of start showing itself.
Right.
Once you really get into it and understand, what you're doing with your manifestations and with your thoughts, because everything starts with thought first. Things start coming together. But I remember one of my first events that I was at, and it wasn't even my event. I was just there. And I started talking to people, and there was a lady there who she was doing a vegan festival, and she sold peanuts. And she was like, I can't make this event tomorrow. She said, can you go in my space? She said, I don't want you to pay me no money or anything like that. She said, it would mean more for me if you could just show up, because I will get docked as a vendor if I don't go, and then they won't accept me again. So she was just like, just go, you can have my space, and the event's tomorrow. I was like, it was like 7 o'clock at night. And I'm like, man, how am I going to make enough juice for tomorrow? It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
So I had to like pull it together. I believe that was one of the nights I stayed up all night, doing what I do. This is easy to me. Creating is very easy to me. It's the business stuff that I had to kind of learn on the back end. But I stayed up all night and did that event and networked at that event, met a lot of people. I met Anna Coleman, which she is the owner of My Bee Spot. I met her at that event just like randomly. She happened to be walking by, and I talk to everybody when I'm out. And her and I talked and we exchanged numbers, and she was just a complete like blessing as far as opening up doors for me. Like she was my point of contact. I was like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing this weekend? And I kind of tailed and followed her. She does really well. The owner of My Bee Spot. She has an amazing truck, and she's been, hitting her own milestones and things like that. And she was just open, and she like honestly every weekend she's like, hey, you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? And that was like the start of it. And from each event, I do the same thing still because this day I'm always networking. I'm always talking to people. We have a great community of entrepreneurs that we all kind of stay in a loop and we keep each other in the loop, because it's hard. It's hard. And I don't even want to say that it's not hard. It's actually easy. I don't even want to put that on us as business owners. It's very easy, but you have to learn how to navigate through the stress. So I just found a great core group when I got here, and then we just moved accordingly.
Beautiful. So divine alignment.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
That is beautiful. So you had this vision since you were in California.
Yeah.
We're already doing the business.
Yeah. I had already, so I'm a hairstylist by trade.
Okay.
I come from doing hair. And after the whole 2020 thing, I was like trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do next? I wasn't quite doing hair then. I mean, I was a little bit, but I was weaning myself out of that and then trying to figure out exactly what I was going to be doing next. And I started to do the markets. So I started to find markets out there, and I was just getting in. Then I started a boutique, and I was doing like wigs and hats and clothes, because that's another big art fashion of mine. Like, I love fashion at the end of the day. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go sell clothes. And then during that time, this was after all of the money had kind of, dwindled down. People wasn't balling anymore, and the world was opening back up. But people were not spending the same way that they were, because, everything had tightened up around the world. So when I was vending, I realized that me doing clothing and hair and all that kind of stuff, that wasn't a necessity. People can come there and they can look past, they don't need that. But when they're out, they need something to drink and they need something to eat. And, they're going to want that kind of stuff. So I just kind of, after hitting my head so long, continuing to order like more clothes and jewelry and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, this isn't selling like that. And then I was noticing that the food and drink vendors were eating, because we were coming to them and we were buying food and drink. If nobody showed up to the market, the other vendors are going to get hungry. We're going to get thirsty. So I switched over to drinks. I didn't want to start doing drinks. I want to start doing juice. That was just another love and passion of mine that I started with my children at home. So I started to do drinks. And the first event that I did with the drinks, I had made the most money that I had made at any other event that I did. And I had 3 flavors, and I had stuck with those 3 flavors for a very long time. Then I finally started to open up and branch out. And then now we're up to like 18 flavors, a couple of collaborations, and
That is awesome. The juice innovated is Jhonie. Yeah.
it's just juice, y'all. Just juice.
So what was the moment that you knew that this was a non-negotiable, this business venture that you're on, that you knew was a non-negotiable, that this was your thing?
What was odd is I did it, okay? At first, I just had hustle again, and I needed to try to make ends meet. So when I started out, I was, I started out doing it in big gallon containers, big glass gallon containers. I would make everything fresh before the market in the morning. So I would get up really early and make these fresh juices, and I would sell them in cups. And that's how I started. And I was just making enough at that point to pay a bill and then re-up. It was like pay a bill and re-up until the next event. And I didn't know I didn't know what was really possible at that time. So I just knew like, hey, this is working right now. So I'm gonna just, keep at it. And sometimes I have to pivot. The art of pivot is, I'm great at that, because that's how life, very bubbly sometimes. So I was always ready to pivot at any point in time. I just never had to. I stuck with it, and that was a lot of me bumping my head too. People saying like, "Hey, I'm a creative, so when you're a creative, your mind goes in all these different places, and you have all these thoughts and things that you want to do."
Yeah.
And I would try to do them all at once, and I would have people say, "Hey, just focus on one, just one at a time." And in my mind, I'm like, "No, I can do everything. I can do it all. I can do it. I can do it. I can do this and that." And didn't realize that I was just basically, you know what I'm saying, chasing my own tail at the end of the day. So once I stayed television and stuck by it, it flourished. And then once I turned to bottling, and I saw that people would come and, buy one of each.
Okay.
People will come and buy a detox kit. You know what I'm saying? Once I saw the power of those members, then I knew it was non-negotiable.
I like it. So you talk about the fact that being tunnel vision, right? and you being a creative. So I thought that's so interesting because you say most creators are very all over the place. I got this, this, and this. How were you able to take your creativity, but also have that vision to say, okay, I'm here and this is what I'm doing, executing for this vision?
I just use all of my creative juices for the juice. So I just began to explore different flavors and things like that. And then I was able to basically get off on creating through juice.
Oh,
And
okay.
then I got really inspired because I kind of did things backwards. I would think about a blend that, oh, that will taste good. I would make it and then be like, oh, it really tastes good. Then I will go back and read about the health benefits. I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't know what I was making.
Okay.
Like, oh, so blah, blah, blah. Like, and it was just kind of like this beautiful poetry that was just kind of happened magically, like right in front of me that I just really wasn't aware of. But I just think that it was just me, using that creative flow tunnelly for what I was doing at the time. And that's what got me to the expansion.
A good funnel. I like that. I like that. I hear a lot of people talk about manifestation, right? And sometimes it sounds like it's like wumbo jumbo. Yeah. Oh my God, what is that? Like, does it really work? So, what do you think the biggest thing is about manifestation that people get wrong?
Oof. That they get wrong. I think that people, one, don't dream big enough.
Mm,
One, don't dream big enough. And then two, are not consistent at the art of manifestation. So there's an art to it, right? And I learned this, like, I got to give my brother his props. I learned this from the Imagination Group. He teaches the art, and that's what he's called, the Imagination Group. So he teaches the art of basically being a master manifester. And he does it all by going into detail. For one, I like that he shows receipts. Everything he does is like case studies on, and he shows receipts. It's like, aha, it all makes sense. But, he shows you how to be consistent with your dream and know what you want, write them down and meditate and put the work in. You put the work in, you're going to get results. Things have to show up in the 3D for you. That's how powerful we are as human beings. We are utterly distracted, and it's the distraction that's causing us not to make art to hit our goals. And I can honestly say that I got here, and I got here so quickly, and I was able to manifest everything as fast as I can because I applied his principles. So when I started to make money,
uh,
that was my first investment because I had already been watching him. And I said, you know what? As soon as I can, I'm going to invest into his group.
right.
He has a membership. And I said, I'm going to invest in this membership as soon as I can. And that literally was my first investment for myself that I made. And from there, I just used his principles. Basically, that's another thing that kind of kept me in check because my mind wanders and I want to do all these different things. But he teaches you these principles, and if you just stay the course, you'll manifest them. So I literally manifested about 3 or 4 of my goals like within less than a year, and everything's just coming like this. So I got to get my props out to we call him MJ, Mr. Imagination Guru. He's the man. He's the man.
So, dreaming big, bigger is one thing you say, and being more consistent with your goals, absolutely, is the other part. That's what most people get wrong. All right. When I think about thought, it leads me into intuition,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, how has your intuition played in you being able to develop your business the way you have?
Whew. My intuition in business development, I think it was a flow for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, again, being intentional with my thoughts and understanding and knowing what I wanted. And from that, my intuition had a path and had a road to take. So it was almost like I kind of cheat code in a sense, made things a little easier for me because I called in what I wanted to happen.
Right.
And it happened the way that I wanted it to happen. So my intuition was just able to kind of flow. It wasn't anything forced or anything like that. It just kind of flowed, of course.
Beautiful. So, would you say that? Can you share a moment that you were able to follow your gut and it changed everything?
Let's see. I would have to say, honestly, initially moving here.
Mhm.
That was a real, like, aha moment, and that was all intuition. Like, okay, now, however, comma, I had no clue how everything was going to pan out for me when I got here. I felt like it was a place that I needed to be, and I felt like it was something that had opened up for me, and it was like a perfect chance for me to be out of my own element. Which, that sometimes when you're in your own hometown, it things don't flourish for you as quickly as it will when you move away. And not to mention us as people, we need newness. We need freshness. You know what I'm saying? We're not meant to just stay stagnant and be in one place. So I would have to say that that was one of my gut feelings that I felt like go, and all arrows was pointing to go.
Mhm.
Even though I might have been a little afraid and fear was there, it was one of those things where I kind of felt like I had a warm hug around me, and it was just like it's going to be okay.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So, when you think when things are overwhelmed, right? And yeah, when things are overwhelming, how did you stay focused and aligned with your vision instead of getting lost and struggling?
I think for myself, that is one of the beauties of who I am.
Mhm.
So like, well, that Snoop Dogg chant when he's like, "I want to thank me for getting up. I want to thank me. I want to thank me. I want to thank me." You know, I um I get that
Mhm.
because for me, when the going gets tough, when my back is against the wall, is when I move the swiftest. Is when I pivot. My art of pivot is like, pain. I turn pain into like just basically make a lemon out of lemonade. Pain and the pleasure. Like I know how to do that. And I've had to recreate myself so many times. And I've kind of gotten good at it at the end of the day. So I think experience just taught me a lot. And just growing up as a child, I had just had challenges. I've been challenged all my life. Um, I got teased by my brother and sister. So when I went to school, it was like people would tease me. It's like, I heard that this morning before I got here. You know that? Come up with another joke. But that was basically like, I just had tough skin and I was bred that way. So, you know what I'm saying? When the going gets tough, a lot of things that have happened to me that will break people, and I understand how it could have,
Right.
because I've been there, they just built me and made me stronger.
Mhm. So you were able to use your adversities as a stepping stool, would you say?
Yeah, 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 absolutely. All of it. I think in using it and saying it in that way, like from childhood, because as a child, my dad spoiled me.
Mhm.
So he fed me all this candy as a baby. Every time I cried, he popped a piece of candy in my mouth to the point to where my teeth were rotten. So all my teeth had to get pulled out at one time. So I remember going to grade school with no teeth.
Mm.
I had no teeth in my mouth at grade school. Everybody has a mouthful of teeth. I have no teeth at grade school. So when I say that, again, being teased by my family and stuff like that. So when I got to school and the kids teased me, it was just like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
And what was I going to do? Not go to school at the end of the day? Like, I had to keep showing up. So, and I just kind of used that, like, just got to keep showing up.
Great. Good. Okay. So showing up for yourself, even through adversity, it's how you have literally gotten to this very moment.
Absolutely. Yes.
That is you. I love that. That's gems. All right. So for some listening who has a dream but feels stuck, what's the first step they should take today to start tuning into their reality?
Believe in yourself, believe in your dream, and start meditating, start writing it down. If again, I'm gonna go back to the imagination guru. He posts nothing but gems, and he'll show you even like some of the best athletes, even some of the best rappers. It's all been written, it's all been said, and they believed it and they were repetitive with it. So you have to believe in yourself enough to not even give a thought. And sometimes we're so weak in our dreams that we don't even keep the thought going. It's a thought that just passes. So if you want it to last, you got to hold on to that thought. You know the way people hold on to trauma and they live their whole life stuck in trauma? It's because it's that thought that they can't let go and they can't get past. So that same thing, there's reciprocity in everything we do. It's the same way with your dreams. You keep that thought going and you keep that thought alive in your mind and in your vision and in your imagination and in your writings. It's got to show up.
Wow.
So don't give up. So we get so caught on needing money, needing credit, and needing all these things, but you really don't. When you think about it, you don't. Because something can happen. It's happened for me where it's like I needed things. And it would show up for me in a way that I couldn't explain. But it showed up for me and it happened. I didn't need none of the other stuff that I thought I needed. It was all about me just being very addicted to what I wanted, very addicted to that dream. I had to be an addict about it in order for it to show up. So that I would just say, honestly, just believe in it. Don't worry about the hows. Just believe in it enough and know that you deserve it.
Wow. That's powerful. Like just the fact when you were talking about the flip side things where you have the trauma, but then you can flip that. It's a whole different mindset.
Absolutely.
And so for me, I feel like a lot of what you're saying is definitely the shifting of mindset.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so how were you able to really shift your mindset? Like, what were some steps you took?
So you know what's so funny about me? Honestly, like I have to like sit back and now that things are coming full circle for me and I'm understanding how this simulation works, you know what I'm saying? So I understand it now. For me, I was already doing all of these things organically and didn't realize it. I literally live in my head, and my head is so creative that everything is unicorn, rainbows, ponytails, and colors. And I live my life vibrantly in color. So even when things are dark for me, I'm always imagining myself out of it. And that's honestly what saved me is my imagination. I gotta give it 1000% just me being that and me being a Pisces. I'm a very creative, right? We're very creative people, but my mind wandered. So I don't know how to sit in pain and I don't know how to wallow in it. I gotta move past this. So I do what I can to move past. You hurt me, I'm gonna move past that shit as quickly as I can. I'm not gonna sit in it. I'm not gonna dwell in it. I'm gonna move past it as fast as I can, and I'm gonna find something that's gonna make me laugh and smile.
Mm.
And that's really it. Like, and I didn't realize how color was therapy. I'm always bright. I'm always very colorful and things like that. And once I started to do the science and the research on color, like all of it is in alignment with different things, not just your chakras, but mood, you know? So
Yes.
I was already doing this stuff and didn't know what I was doing. And I was just subconsciously just kind of like in this space and going on and just, who I am and how I was raised taught me a lot. And I just use, I like to laugh.
Right.
And laughter is very important to me. I don't know how to be dull or anything like that. So I try sometimes even in pain. And my daughter, one of my children, like something bad can happen and she'll just start smiling. It's just for like your cousin just passed away. Why are you smiling? But she doesn't know how to like express pain, so she expresses it with a smile. Um, and as obvious as it is, it's like, oh, I get it. Like I get it. So I guess like not wallowing in pain and misery. It's just something that, like again, my imagination. I gotta think past that. Whatever's going on right now, I gotta think past that. So I'm happy. I gotta be the happiness.
I feel that. It's funny because somebody asked me a question. They said, Erica, if you were stuck in the middle of the ocean, how would you get out? There was no boats, nothing there. Just water, no sharks get you, nothing. How would you get out? How would you get out?
Thinking I was stuck in the middle of the ocean. I would honestly the art of flow.
Mm-hmm.
I would do not even the backstroke, just float on my back. And I would just probably imagine dry land. I would imagine someone coming to save me. And I would have to think about what does that look like for me to be captured right now? I would imagine that. And then I'm already in water, and water already holds a lot of body and movement and memory. So I would just use the elements to my advantage. Duh.
That though, right? Because as we're talking about manifestation, right? Your thoughts, they literally produce action. They produce life. So to have a thought of, okay, I'm stuck out here. I was a helicopter coming to save me. My vibration is strong enough. That's bodily. That a helicopter is coming to save me. So yeah, your imagination is everything. It's so powerful, and I feel like it's been for a lot of people, it's been hindered and underrated and underexposed. So I love that. Just hearing that because working in a school system and having all these kids around, for me, hearing that stories that they created was life.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was life. That would be.
And one of the reasons to our children are, I guess, attacked the most, you know what I'm saying? Because it's all about, destroying the imagination and, like putting them in a state of depression or, you know what I'm saying, or just stagnant.
Yeah.
And it's because it's when we're there, we are still very much so closer to the source. So we are so animated at that time and we're so creative. And then when we're there too, we're just, like we're unapologetically us. And I think that's a very beautiful thing to embrace, of course, the children embrace that within the kids.
I love that. I love that about high school. Y'all are really good at that. Um, just go take some of these juices real quick,
All right. So Miss Missy is on a 30-day.
No, I want a 90 days. 90 days of raw. So
She's on 90 days of raw. So this is great because I definitely encourage that. I am also a detox coach, and that's one of the things that these juices bring to life is that you can detox. Now, I don't use these juices to detox. These are more commercial juices, grab and go. But when you are on a detox, I can actually press you up a whole detox kit. I am an advocate of it. I believe it. It's a great way to restart yourself. It's a hard reset for your internal organs. When you're giving your body a break from digesting food, your body gets to then concentrate on healing itself, ridding tumors and, preventing high blood pressure and all of these other elements that come from just processed foods. You can prevent those things from happening by detoxing a couple times a year.
Right.
And even doing it with a purpose when you're rebranding yourself or renewing yourself. Like these are all things that are all, again, stimulants to the imagination, stimulants to the pineal gland, all of those beautiful things. So I encourage what you're doing. And I'm going to show how I could actually assist her with this. So I'm going to make her a mocktail. I'm going to make me a cocktail. So these drinks, great juices, and they make amazing, amazing mixers. There's no sugar in them. So that is basically what causes all the hangover and headaches when you're drinking, when you're having a night out. And you're also still getting all the high vibrations that's in the juices. You're getting hydrated from the juices. These are all natural fresh fruits that are in here. So your body is getting a chance to actually absorb some water contents and some nutrients as opposed to pounding your system with a whole bunch of sugar. There's sugar in the juice and then alcohol breaks down in your body as sugar. So you're just kind of like giving your body a double whammy. So this is a great way to actually use as mixers, and they're also a great way to deal from a hangover. I'm doing this mix for you. This is activated charcoal. So this will actually be a good assistant to you and what you're doing as far as your raw. Activated charcoal is really great at removing impurities from the body. It's good for hangover and headaches. It's good for food poisoning. I've had a lot of people actually have had this because they had like other issues going on and they've given me great feedback like, oh my God, it worked. I'm like, okay, awesome, that's thankful. Or like from hangovers at my Sunday market, I can't keep enough of this on the shelf because Saturday night everybody went out and had a good time. So Sunday they're coming and they're buying this by like the 3s and 4s and 6 packs. So in honor of what you're doing, we're gonna give some activated charcoal, and then I am going to top it with. There's another thing that I can create a beautiful mocktail. There's no added colors, dyes, chemicals. This is all the natural color of the fruit once it's expressed. Then I would top it with Kiss. Kiss is my number one seller. We sell so many of these. And this is passion fruit mango pineapple. It's literally a natural tropical fruit punch, no sugar. Once the juices are all intertwined and mixed, it just makes such a beautiful color. Can't go wrong with that. And then for me, I gonna add a little tequila. I color code my tequila so I know what it is. Because I have tequila, rum and all that stuff. So I color code it. But it just makes a natural, beautiful color. And everything again is fresh pressed. Just can't go wrong with it. And another beautiful thing is that I could make you a mocktail and nobody has to know you're toxin or anything like that. You could look like you're still out there doing what everybody else is doing, but really you on good shit.
Right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Sitting with wisdom. I am the juice lady. So what would be a show without us being able to sit?
This is beautiful though.
Thank you. The flavors mesh and blend so well together, like crisscrossing them and mixing them and matching them. It goes amazing. So cheers to you guys. I know it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I want y'all to see those colors. Just see it out here. Ugh.
Beautiful.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm. That is really good. So that is why they call you the juice innovator. This blends very well. Really good.
Thank you. You have your activated charcoal. That one has pineapple, ginger, and mint in it. And then the other one is the passion fruit one. Passion fruit is just amazing. It's just a super good, refreshing. Passion fruit's really good for the bones, good for the skin. So you're still getting all this high vibrational energy. And yeah, I get lit. I get lit with it. But I'll be so much happier when I drink this. I'm so much happier.
What? You get even happier? Every time I see you, you're always happy. You're always smiling. And I just love that. I'm just, oh, it is. Thank you. It's beautiful already.
Thank you.
So, when we think about people starting out on something new, embarking on a new journey, oftentimes fear paralyzes them. How are you able to just jump?
I'm fearless. And even when I do fear something, I always see little memes about Pisces, and they'd be like, "It ain't hot," and there goes Pisces. We gotta see. I gotta see for myself. So even though I may be afraid or it may scare me, I still gotta try. And my dreams sometimes are so big that they scare me. But then I feel like if my dreams don't scare me, they're not big enough. So I just kind of conditioned my mind to honestly just move fearlessly.
Well, so do you feel like when you're going to embark on those dreams, that opportunity that envision, do you feel like you have to have it all together or do it scared?
Listen, didn't I tell you I didn't have no teeth in grade school? Do you know what kind of confidence you gotta have to go to school every day with no teeth?
Listen, let me imagine.
We didn't have no school then, or I would have been a weak child, right? I would have been weak. No, we didn't have, of course, those options, but I think like all that bravery for me literally came from that era of my childhood because I was teased a lot. I didn't have no teeth. I didn't smile in any of my school pictures. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like I had to go and literally like face people talking about me every day, face being teased every single day for a very long time. All those things are real. And instead of it breaking me and making me some, selfless or unconfident person, it actually has made me more confident. So these are the things, again, all these adversities that I've gone through have always built me up. And I now understand who I am, so I condition myself for adversity. Give me an adversity, and guess what? I'm about to overcome it. It's another hurdle. You know what I'm saying? So I've had to learn to move that way. And I didn't really have an option or a choice. It was just my life.
Wow. Wow. It's strange because a lot of people I've been talking to recently, they, the way that I'm saying it is that the environment that they were, grown in is what literally gave them the tools to be who they are today. And sometimes I also see on the flip side where people have those, that's, stifling environment or whatnot, but they don't use that in their for an event. Like, and just to see that people have that mindset to be able to flip and say, okay, this did happen to me, but this is not my defining moment. This is what actually helped me define who I wanted to be.
Right.
So I love saying that and hearing that. Okay, so what's something that looks like look on the outside, but was actually pure strategy and hustle?
Honestly, I would have to say Cosmic Juice Bar as a whole.
Mm.
So I used to be the Mad Hacker. That was my name, the Mad Hacker. And it was because I was hacking life. I know nothing about computers. I know nothing about technology. I don't do any of that. But I was basically hacking my way through life. And detox was another life hack that I had learned. Juicing was another life hack that I had learned. And I had learned this through my phase of being the quote unquote mad hacker. So during that phase, when I turned to juices, that literally was a hack because it wasn't my first thought. It wasn't my first like love. It was just something that I embodied and I knew that I could do it. Because of course I can do anything, right? So I just knew that I could, and I ended up basically and I remember when my friends pulled me to the side because I was shaking like a mini bike or trying to figure out what I was gonna do with my life. I had homeless, been there. I mean, literally was homeless at the time. Starting a business, and my homeless this wasn't like what everybody else's homelessness looked like. When I say homeless, I didn't have my own home.
Right.
And I had places to stay and people that loved me and opened their home with open arms, and I appreciate that. Throughout my time of trying to figure out what I was going to do. But I remember my friend pulling me to the side. He was like, man, look, this was after I got to the juice. Now I'm on the juice. Now I'm on the juice. When was I coming to America? And next week we're going to be on Friday. That's when the big butts start rolling in. No, but I remember a friend pulling me to the side and said, look, man, you didn't change your business like 3 times this year.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing with yourself? I'm like, I'm the juice. The juice.
Mm-hmm.
But so many people saw me pivoting and scrambling for such a long time and didn't know where I was going. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I couldn't hear negativity. People try, what I'm saying? What are you doing with yourself? You're such and such years old. And what's your retirement plan look like? I don't have one. I'm gonna figure it out. When I figure it out, it's gonna all figure itself out. But it was literally like I really had people worry about me.
Right.
One time my family thought I was on drugs, and all I did was a detox. I did a detox. My first juice detox for 30 days. I got so skinny, lost so many toxins, looked really young. I was just skinny, and yeah, my family thought I was on drugs. So listen,
What made you get into juicing, detoxing? Like, what put you there?
told you like things for me just kind of happen or just they just happen. But it was during the 2020. It was the first time that I had ever had the chance to do a detox. The world shut down. What else are you gonna do with your life?
Okay.
So, but at this time, I was hanging around friends that were just amazing. I had really great people around me that I have to just give so much credit and so much props to. My 2020 COVID buddy, like we went through COVID, basically together. But I was like, I want to do a cleanse. Okay, let's do it.
Right.
So we did a cleanse during COVID, and again, because that was the first time that I didn't have nothing to do, it was like, oh, I could juice for 30 days, and I wanted to see if I could do it,
Mm-hmm.
and I did it. And after that, it was so like it literally opened up everything for me. It was like the light, everything just started clicking. It was like, oh, okay, you heal your body this way. Oh, okay, that little lump I felt in my thigh is gone. Just all kind of things that were just coming to me. And then I got into the art of detoxing and healing and just understanding what that do to yourself, what that do to the body. And then started seeing more people talk about, and then at that time, everybody was on this healing journey. Everybody was on, all of that. And so it was kind of like a movement for me. And I ended up just getting into it in a different way. And I still didn't turn to juice just then. I was still trying to work this other business and still trying to do, the boutique and clothes and stuff like that. And then I finally made the pivot to juice, and then it was all she wrote. And then it just became like this beautiful marriage of like, oh, okay, this makes sense. This makes sense.
Wow. Okay. I love that. You built something so beautiful, right? Where is it headed? What's the next destination?
So there's so many multifacets to what I do to this brand. And I didn't realize getting into it that I was going to be able to have so many opportunities, so many pivot points like, oh, I can do this, but I can still do this. I can do this, still do this. So it helps keep me into my creative juices.
Yeah.
Because typically will be ready. The reason why I have so many flavors is I get bored fast. Mm-hmm. That's why I change clothes and colors and stuff like that. Like before, my hair was never my natural color. It was always all these different colors. I pivot quickly. Mm-hmm. So for me, I've been able to channel all of that through the juices. So the next step is I've been doing collaborations. Okay. I did my first collaboration with DJ Larry Love. He's one of my favorite people of all times. Like, and this was his idea thing when he came to me. He goes, "Oh, what about juice?" It's like, "Oh, I'll make you a juice." And he was like, "I want to make a juice, and I want to market it the way that rappers. He doesn't drink. I want to market it the way that rappers market alcohol." I said, "Okay, thanks."
Like,
Duh. So we collabed. I made him a juice, and then it opened up for me to be able to do other collaborations. So I am going to be doing other collaborations with other artists, where they could have their own juice as well, and then they get incentives for having their own juice, and they shows and stuff that make sense for them, and also doing bars and restaurants, business to business. So this juice is amazing because of a restaurant or bar can purchase a juice pack or whatever, purchase some flavors that they can keep in-house. And they can serve it to the family, they can serve it to the children. Absolutely great for children. There's no sugar in it. You don't have to worry about ADHD. You'll be amazed that the children are drinking beets, they're drinking turmeric, they're drinking ginger. I have families that come and patronize, and their child gets to choose the juice of their choice each week. And to me, um, being able to just offer them something
right.
that I know is not harming them, is doing something better for them than anything that you can get on the shelf, because everything has sugar in it, even baby formula, baby juice, all of it has sugar in it. So, that is, another great aspect. And I'll be coming out with the minis. So the children's size bottles. So we have children's size bottles, we have business, and we have collaborations. And it's up. It's up. We're going to keep going.
Where it is? Man. Okay. When it's all said and done, what legacy do you want to leave behind?
I want to leave. I mean, sheesh. This is honestly what I do this for. This is also a part of my manifestations and my goal writing, is to be able to leave my children a legacy. I want them to know the art of hustle. Okay. That's not taught in school. We're taught different things. And I want them to understand that, mommy did this literally, and not on her own because I've had help. But this was my day that I took and was able to give to the world and birth it, and also offer them something good. And then I now made it public. So I want to show them the art of them being able to have their own business, not work for someone else, for this business to carry them through and help them create something that will be theirs and their own that they can leave for their children. But I want this to be part of what is going to basically lay the foundation for not just them, but my whole family.
Right.
To understand that, I'm saying, to have a business and to have a business that can take care of you, not just you and the family.
Yeah.
And doing it the untraditional way. I didn't have, great schooling and things like that. I didn't go to school for this. This is just all heart, all gut, and perseverance and hustle.
Yeah. But what's the most uncomfortable truth about success that no one wants to hear but they need to?
It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of sleepless nights. Um, and it's going to be that until you get to, and a lot of hands on. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of energy. Just as you're birthing a child, when a woman's in labor, she's she's close to death.
Yeah.
And she's pushing, and what I'm saying, like that's the time you're closest to me. You got to do the same in business, and it's going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to have its peaks. It's going to have its peaks. It's going to have its valleys, and you have to have the will and the determination to keep going, and to have the confidence to keep going.
That's big. That's big. All right. Well, Miss Noy, before you get out of here, let me know. Pull the question and I'll read it. All right. If your success was turned into a movie, what would the title be and the key lesson?
Hustle and motivate. Shout out to Nipsey. Shout out to Nipsey. Hustle and motivate. What was part 2?
And what's the key lesson?
Never give up. Never give up. If I have to really break down my true story and everything that I've been through and all the challenges that I've had, people will get another insight about just determining. And I have been one where I've watched all these podcasts and I watched all these famous people, especially when I was real broke and homeless. And I'm watching all these podcasts and people are just like, yeah, don't give up, keep going. I'm like, man, give me some money. All I need is money, man. Give me some tea. I guess. But I would hear them say those things. So just keep going, don't give up on your dreams and stuff like that. And I didn't understand it then because I'm like, yeah, it's easy for you to say you made it. You got it, But in order for them to get it and to get there, it took blood, sweat, tears. It took getting it out the mud. And that's why they can say that. They can give that advice. And I would give the same advice, man. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. Keep going.
That is your book. Well, that is our time with Miss Jhonie Donnell, sitting with wisdom, the visionary herself, the juice innovator, the entrepreneur, and the wellness advocate. We appreciate you.
Gratitude and blessings.
Gratitude.